This model kit review is of the Mk.I Hawker Hurricane, the first version, and it's by Airfix. It is a 1/48 scale model, and here we can see here the dimensions as well as the decal options. Let's have a look inside. I've actually already started on this one, so I'll show you what I've done so far. Just to look at the quality of the kit, there's a fair amount of surface detail, but it's mostly raised. Here are our gun ports, and as you can see, these wing edges are still going to need some work, some filling and sanding. Here are landing light spaces, gaps, and the cockpit sits right on top of that. See, that's already been put together. And here underneath, see, I put together the radiator housing. This I've started to fill already. And inside the wheel well was very little detail, so I've started to add some of the lines and tubes that would normally be there. And that one's going to need to come out a little bit more. Let's have a look at these fuselage here. So I'm going to need to drill out those holes for the exhaust. We've got a lot of rivet detail here, but all raised. And on the inside, I've started adding some details to the cockpit. So this is just regular styrene plastic, and then these are lead wires that I have bent and glued into position. Same thing with the other side, some styrene plastic. And this here is our instrument panel. Not much detail there, some. You can tell this is not as good quality kit looking at just the sprue. You see these edges here. Here's our landing gear covers, which I've used the other ones. These are just if you're going to do it closed. Here's our propeller with the spinner. Here's an alternative one. I still have a few little pieces to put together. Here's our rear wheel. You can see here the mold lines. And here are the other propellers. Also, you can see the mold lines. So the quality is not great. Here's one wheel with some detail. Here are our stabilizers, also mold lines. Here's the other wheel, and also our pilot figure with a fair amount of detail there. Here are our decals. You can see that there's a fair amount of detail here with some little decals as well. And then our canopy glass. Let's have a look at these instructions. So we start off with the propellers, and you can do the two different options. And you put together the fuselage. I've added those extra details though, and they'll need to get painted before we put them together. And your pilot gets put together, and the cockpit, which is then built on top of the wheel wells. The wings are put together, and the wheel wells and cockpit are placed there. That's then put onto the fuselage, along with the exhausts and stabilizers. Air intake, other parts are put on the wings, and then the wheels and landing gear are put together, either up or down. There it is with them down, and then here it is with them up. And then we have two different options for painting. Here, the painting and decal guides. These are the original ones where they had the black and white so they can be distinguished from other planes, from the enemy planes. And I later realized it was not a good idea. And here's the other option, which is the one that I'm building. So all in all, quality's reasonable. As you can see, I've started adding a fair amount of extra detail, and this should look great at the end.